Hi everyone, it's the Comic Fan Man here coming at you with another video. And in today's video, we're going to have Prince Adam hold aloft his magic sword and say the words, "By the power of Grayskull," and have him turn into Masterverse Thunder Punch HeMan. Yes, continuing a look at this wave 13, not wave 12, wave 13. I made a mistake in one of my other videos of the Masterverse line. Here we have the Masters of the Universe New Eternia Thunder Punch HeMan. I was so happy when this came in. Let's take a look at the box. This is the New Eternia Skeletor, the Barbarian Skeletor. He still has the sword, and he's getting socked, obviously, with this HeMan. It looks like he's at Snake Mountain, because I believe that's the entrance to Snake Mountain. And yeah, he's got the shield. He's got the Thunder Punch feature. Skeletor getting his head bashed in. And on the side, take a look at this. Love this portrait painting with HeMan smashing the floor. Really, really great. Again, unfortunately, when I ordered this from Amazon, I guess they got this internationally, so there's no write-up. But if you look at it, it looks really, really cool. I love the art. And yeah, it looks like he can sheath his sword. And oh, he opens up the backpack, so you put the caps in, like the vintage toy. Oh, I can't wait. All right, let's open this bad boy up and take a look at what he comes with. All right, so here he is out of the box with all of his accessories. Thunder Punch HeMan from New Eternia. Excuse me. This is absolutely fantastic. Let's go over all of these accessories that he comes with. First of all, he comes with the two fists, and obviously we put that into for the Thunder Punch effects here. Oh, and these fists, these hands now come with the much thicker pegs. It's no longer the thin pegs from the first waves of Masterverse figures. They're now coming with thicker pegs. And here we have the Thunder Punch effects. It's really cool, translucent fire effects. However, I do not see a left or a right, so I don't I don't know which one goes into which, or it could just be that they fit in either or, so might not be an issue either way. But they are slightly different. Like you see the fire aesthetic here and the fire aesthetic here is ever so slightly different. So that's really cool. All right, and now let's take a look at his sword and shield combo and this little ring of caps. If any of you were a child of the 80s, you knew exactly what these were. These were for the 6-shooters back in the days, where you put these little gunpowder caps on there so the little gun could go pop, 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 pop. Unfortunately, these are outlawed now, but Mattel did recreate it in plastic, which is very cool. I very much appreciate that. And this is a carbon copy of what his shield looked like back in the day. I appreciate the new Masterverse New Eternia sword being done in gold, just like the vintage figure had the gold sword. They redid it for the New Eternia, although they painted the wraps. That's really nice. Or actually, I think the... No, it's gotta be... No, it might be that the whole sword is white and the blade is actually painted. That's interesting. I hope that means this isn't gonna like chip off. Well, he had a gold sword, So here it is. It's a gold sword. And the other part of his shield was that his shield was where you would put the caps. The fire caps would go right in there. And this would hold a bunch of those little caps for the figure himself. All right, so now let's take a look at the figure himself. Thunder Punch HeMan from New Eternia. First of all, this gets the brand new HeMan head sculpt that they gave to Faker. I'm really happy for that. This is, I think for me, although the 40th anniversary HeMan did have a 1-for-1 of the vintage style head, this to me is the best looking HeMan head that Mattel has produced for Masterverse. For HeMan himself, this for sure, for me, this is the best looking head that they've done. And let's take a look at the rest of the body here. The first thing you notice at least the first thing that I noticed when I took him out of the box was how much paint wash he has. I was really surprised by that. I didn't see that they were gonna do that much paint wash, but there's paint wash everywhere and it looks good. They highlight it really, really nicely. All the muscles and everything looks really, really good. I dig it. I really, really dig it. And I also enjoy this reimagining of his Thunder Punch harness there. That looks really great. And I like that they gave him these bracers for his arms, just to kind of show that the Thunder Punch technique is so powerful that even He-Man needs some reinforcement for his arms to use it. At least that's how I see it. I think that's great. His belt is a totally different color. The cloth here is also a totally different color from what it was. And his boots. I think these might be the boots from Wave 1 He-Man, but it looks like because of the wash, and there's some texturing here that I didn't have in the Wave 1 boots. There's a lot of texturing on here. It looks fantastic. I think Mattel did an excellent, excellent job on this figure. And then, of course, on the vintage figure, this was where the play feature was at. And basically what you did was you opened it up and you had this area here. And this was the area where you would put the caps, the bullet caps. And as you can see, Mattel recreated it here. Exactly 1-for-1. That's fantastic. This used to have, in the vintage figure, there was like a little hammer here, like the little gun hammer. So you would just close this up, and the tacks were in the way. And you would set He-Man up for his punch, wind him back, and let it rip. And then the hammer would hit the little gunpowder cap. And that's how you would get the pop. And then you switch it to the next one, pop, switch it to the next one, pop, switch it to the next one, so on and so forth. That's really cool. Unfortunately, they did not do the power punch feature, the pullback and punch feature, but this is great. I think, you know, the fact that they were able to recreate it, the look pretty much 1-for-1, I think that's fantastic. That looks so, so cool. I am so, so happy with this figure. Let me see if I can get him to stand. There we go. Yeah, I think he's a 1-for-1 amazing, amazing recreation of that figure. Unfortunately, you know, there's laws against these little caps now, so you'll never find those gunpowder caps here. But man, if they did, and if this figure had it, that would be amazing. But yeah, there he is, Thunder Punch He-Man in all his glory. All right, so here he is with all of his accessories on. We've got the Power Punch effects on there. We did have to switch out the hands because the flame effects don't really fit with this. I mean, I guess you could if you force it, but I don't like to deform the fingers if I don't have to. And very much like the Battle Armor He-Man, he does have this peg system to peg the shield on the wrist if you want. But you can also peg it back here in the cap section. So he can carry everything that he comes with, which is great. Not all the figures have been able to do that. So I like the fact that they did that with this figure, that he can literally carry everything that he comes with is on the figure right now. And that's great. Outside of obviously the second set of hands. All right, so here he is with the side by side with the He-Man version 1 from Revelation He-Man body. And as you can see, legs are the same, arms are the same. This bottom part of the waist seems to be the same, but the chest is completely different. I mean, this He-Man definitely looks like He-Man now. The big complaint about this Revelation He-Man was that his body was way too thin for He-Man. And you know, I liked it, but I could see the critique because it was, you know, in the cartoon, in the Revelation cartoon, he was big, he was huge. But for the figure, yes, the figure was really kind of thin. But now this redesign of this upper part of the body is pretty crazy. I love it. I think it is so much better. And again, the wash just accentuates it. And look, even on the back, he's got all this wash that really kind of accentuates his muscles. But like you can see, the arms are the same, the legs are the same, but that upper part of the torso there, this part here, that's really great. That's a really nice redesign. And here he is side by side with the 40th anniversary He-Man. And again, I love this He-Man because he did so much look. He called back to the vintage He-Man and the fact that his whole waist was much bigger, much thicker than the regular Masterverse He-Man. I love this figure. This was my figure of the year for last year. And yeah, Thunder Punch He-Man looks really good next to him. Again, I do love this redesigned upper body here. And his face sculpt. Again, this is my favorite face sculpt because this is an actual almost one for one callback to the original He-Man face, but this is really great. I really love this look for He-Man. I wish that when they did the new Eternia Viking He-Man that they would have gone with this face sculpt, because this is definitely a much better face sculpt. It's definitely the best He-Man reimagined face sculpt that they've done so far. Outside of this one, the other one that I really enjoyed was the one with the beard. That was a really good He-Man. Oh, wait a minute now. This might be my new 40th anniversary He-Man. Take a look. The 40th anniversary He-Man harness fits on him wonderfully. It's a little bit loose, but really, like, can you tell? I think this looks great. And he's got the vertical hinge for the power sword. Just like all of the newer He-Man. The first wave of He-Man did not have that. But after the 40th anniversary, all of them started to have this vertical hinge. And I believe this vertical hinge is a little deeper than the 40th anniversary hinge because his arm goes much more straighter and he holds the sword much more flatter. Pretty much the same like the Prince Adam. Whoops. I mean, he pretty much holds the sword at the same angle as the Prince Adam He-Man from the cartoon collection. And I think that's really great. And as you can see, his hair really calls back to the Filmation cartoon hairstyle. That's great. I really do love this face sculpt. I think they did a great job with this. And yeah, I took off all of the arm harness pieces here so that you can see what his arms look like without them. But yeah, the same Revelation arms as the other Masters of the Universe figures. But I think this is great. I might actually leave him with this once I'm done with this video. All right, so here they are together. I did a full armor switch between the two. I gave him the full Thunder Punch armor, and as you can see, it looks great on him. I did have to make a little clip here because it doesn't clip to the backpack. His buck is too big. But I made a little clip here and it doesn't move, it doesn't shake around, so it holds it really well and it looks great. And if you remember the vintage toy, the Thunder Punch He-Man body was thicker than the regular He-Man body because it had the little hammer mechanism on the inside to pop the caps. So I think that looks really good. Also, if you remember, once they popped the caps back then, like, you know, if any child of the 80s remembers, you can probably still smell that action figure. But I think this looks really good. I think that looks pretty much like the vintage style Thunder Punch He-Man. And I finally figured out why I like this look for this He-Man. You know, the body, obviously they did a nice changeover, and I exchanged the bracers. I gave the 40th anniversary the red ones. I gave him the orange ones to match his belt. But I finally figured out why I like this He-Man so much. The reason I like this He-Man so much is because he reminds me of the Alcala Mini-Comics He-Man. I think this is a perfect one-for-one. And in order to keep his harness flat on his body without wiggling, because it was loose before, I just made like a little cushiony thing here with a little piece of foam core. I wrapped it in gray tape just to kind of disguise it a little better. But look, it looks like a perfect He-Man harness. And yeah, I think it looks like a perfect Alfredo Alcala mini-comic He-Man. Because he kind of had this very chiseled, serious face with the long hair. He had the boots with the lighter colored fur on top. I think this is fantastic. I think he looks like a perfect Alcala style mini comic He-Man. Right here he is, a mini comic Alfredo Alcala style He-Man. Remember one of the mini comic covers? He-Man is kind of like squat like this with the shield and axe. And, you know, with the face sculpt, yeah. I think this looks amazing. I am so happy with this. I am going to continue doing the rest of the video with him in the Thunder Punch armor. But yeah, I think this is the way I'm going to keep him on my shelf. I think this looks amazing. A perfect Alfredo Alcala Mini Comics He-Man. All right, here he is striking at New Eternia Clawful. Another one of my favorite figures from last year from the Masterverse line. I love this Clawful, and yeah, since they're both in the New Eternia line, they both have the New Eternia belts. And yeah, Clawful was definitely one of my favorite Masterverse reimaginings, and I think he works really well with this Thunder Punch He-Man. And if I remember correctly, I believe Thunder Punch He-Man and Clawful in the vintage line came out at about the same time as well. I might be wrong about that, but I kind of remember having both of them at about the same time. But, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they both came out at about the same time as vintage figures. And I think this is a great combination. I think it looks great. You know, you got Clawful blocking the Thunder Punch, but he probably just broke his claw at that point, taking such a hit from HeMan. And here we giving Emperor Hordak from the Revolution Masterverse figures the 1-2 combo. Again, this was a great reimagining of Hordak. The Revolution cartoon was so much worlds away better than Revelation, and Keith David giving him a voice, giving him life was amazing. I love that. And another thing about this Thunder Punch He-Man is that the cloth here is very soft. He's very posable. The cloth here does not get in the way like the older ones did. The older ones were a little hard, so it wasn't as easy to spread the legs out and do dynamic posing. But the soft plastic that they did here, the soft plastic that they did on Emperor Hordak, really doesn't get in the way of the legs articulation anymore, which is really great. I really appreciate that. All right, if you enjoyed this look at Thunder Punch He-Man, I have him right now in the Shoryuken pose. If you enjoyed this look at Thunder Punch He-Man, please give me a like and subscribe to help grow the channel. I think Mattel did an amazing job on this figure, from the washes to the redesign of the chest, and recreating the vintage harness with the clacking play feature. Unfortunately, it doesn't do the wind-up punch with the gunpowder caps, but at least it does do the clacking as you turn it, or as you turn it. So they were able to recreate some of it. Thank you for joining me in this video, and we will be covering the last figure of Wave 13, Cyclone, in the next video. We'll see you there. Thank you and have a great day.